I mean,
All right, Valiant. Here's a big time question. I
mhm.
bet nobody has asked this on any other show, so this is brand new for the audience. Which one's going to lose more money, Lightyear or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
Oh, Lightyear.
You think?
I mean, Lightyear finished its run at what? 200 and
250,
yeah,
somewhere around there.
250. Yeah. I mean, Lightyear and Ant-Man had the same budget.
Lightyear had what, 200 million budget?
Uh-huh.
Ant-Man 200 million budget.
Yep.
Ant-Man's going to come short. Well, which one had? Well, we don't know the promotional budgets compared.
Even if you just assume about $100 million each,
Right.
I mean, still, I mean, you're looking at, and I mean, Lightyear lost 150 million. I have to go back and look. This is going to lose, maybe Ant-Man might lose 50 between, or 75 million, I think is where it's going to shake out at, about 75 million.
Right.
Still bad, but
Mhm.
it's not Lightyear bad. You know, I mean, Lightyear was just a mess. But
So what? Okay, so then, what MCU movie up ahead are we looking at that potentially goes down in flames like Lightyear and Strange World? Because those two movies,
Mhm.
they dropped bad enough that the mainstream press actually paid attention and said, "Huh." So what MCU movie on the upcoming roster are we
The
looking at and
Marvels.
saying, no, but that's exactly right, the Marvels.
The Marvels. I mean, that's the one. We talked about them moving from July to November for reshoots. And again, I think this was before you got here. Um, Talking about them moving that movie from July to November, switching the dates out with Haunted Mansion. Yeah,
Look at all these Marvels
everybody
popping up.
knows it. It's dirt, you know. Yeah,
Right.
the Marvels is going to be. And look, here's the thing: they're dumping more reshoots in right now. So even if the Marvels makes, let's say the Marvels makes 100 million more at the end of the day than Ant-Man. Ant-Man's going to finish up maybe around I mean maybe 475, 480 at this
Right.
point. I can't see it. I don't know. I don't think it gets to 500. Remember Ant-Man lost all their PLF screens this past weekend to Creed. So all the high dollar screens that they had are pretty much all gone.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not coming back. There's too many other movies coming out. If the Marvels makes 600 million at the box office compared to Ant-Man's 5, but they spend 250 on it, like they did with Wakanda Forever, like they did with Thor 4, like they did with some of these. I mean, we don't know what Guardians 3's budget is yet. But if they get up to 250 on this Marvels movie, and because they had to go back and do another bunch of reshoots, I mean, then the Marvels even making a higher box office could still be a bigger loss than Ant-Man.
Right.
You know, but I don't know what they're going to do. There's absolutely, I'm sorry, there's nothing appealing about that movie to a broad-based audience. And again, I'm purely saying it from a business side of things. You have another $200+ million movie coming in the Marvels with characters from Disney Plus TV shows that nobody saw, that virtually nobody watched. I mean, I'm sorry, by comparison, it's the God's honest truth. The only one in there, you're literally resting your entire bet on Brie Larson.
Ooh.
Good luck.
Ooh.
Oh, but the first Marvel's movies, Captain Marvel did $1 billion. Right. They smashed it right up in between Infinity War and they made it a lead in 2 months before Endgame. They could have put a dead monkey hanging from a tree, you know, on a screen for 2 hours before Endgame, and told everybody it was the prequel to Endgame. You got to go see it. It'd have made $1 billion. I hate to tell you.
Right.
I mean that's how popular it was. Grass growing, 2 hours. Stay around for the post credit scene because you need to watch it. You get $1 billion doing that. Captain Marvel was a terrible movie. And I mean, it went nowhere after that. Nobody talked about that movie ever again. It came out, did $1 billion, and then just disappeared. The character, and in fact, it's so bad. This is why she didn't get her own second movie. There's no Captain Marvel 2. The reason it's The Marvels is because if they felt like Captain Marvel could carry a movie on her own again, that's what you'd get. Originally, it was supposed to be Captain Marvel 2. Then it was like, well, let's bring in these other characters and see
Right.
if that helps.
And the problem is that if there's no enthusiasm for phase 5 and 6 now,
None of
you
the
can't
toys
you
sold.
can't pull a trick with an end credit scene that will pull in people. Like, that's not going to work. You can't have Jonathan Major show up at the end and be like, "Oh, you got to go see it because you find out what's going to happen with Kane the Conqueror. He's actually did it." No, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Yeah. But I mean, Ant-Man 3, it's got to get to $600 million thereabout to break even. It ain't happening. So if it finishes up at 500 million, you're looking at 50 to 75 million in a loss because again, 40, 50 million at this box office at the end of the day is going to come from China, where you get paid very little by comparison.
Right.
So that factors
paid in rice bags.
I'm working on a series, and it's going to be like maybe a series of like 5-minute videos where it's like, how much did it make? And we're going to go back through Ant-Man, Avatar, Wakanda, all this kind of stuff, just different little videos for each one. Because I think it'll be interesting to go back.
I'll tell you what I would like to see. I wish we had an investigative journalist who could do something like this. I don't know if there are any out there looking for something to do, but I think it'd be cool to go back and rank every one of the Marvel films using inflation, adjusted inflation, and then figure out which movies had the most butts in seats. Because I think that some of the ones that we think are stinkers will be really, really dramatically bad compared, especially later in the run. Compared to those that maybe we thought was, it was a moderate hit, but no. If you go back in time to when the movie ticket prices were lower, those are going to be much higher than some of these later films that just came out and, nothing.
Indeed. Yeah. And I think that's definitely going to be more than likely the case.
I want a ranking by butts and seats. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to come up with something on that one. So...
Renegade.